Finally, the remains from this coal burning process, a substance commonly called fly ash, passes through the emissions control devices. The facility is equipped with extensive pollution control equipment, including electrostatic precipitators to collect the ash and a sulfur dioxide scrubber on Unit 2, which further cleans the emissions before they are released through the plant's chimneys, which both stand 507 feet in the air and are equipped with continuous emissions monitoring equipment.
We have several different areas. Every week we go out to each of the ponds that we have out here. We have about 12 ponds, and we check the pH, the chemistry of each pond, make sure that our outfall meets specifications. Without us, you're not going to have purified water to run this place. And we're very proud that for over 20, 25, 28 years, we've never had to chemically clean our boilers, either one of them. And I like to say that our staff has a lot to do with that, our laboratory staff.
This coal to kilowatts process takes place all day, every day here at the GRDA coal-fired complex. And with an abundance of coal reserves in the United States, this fossil fuel has potential to generate power in our country for hundreds of years. In fact, about half of all the electricity generated in the United States comes from coal. From the beginning of the 20th century, electricity created from coal has provided power Americans have needed to improve their lives. And today, right here at GRDA, the low-cost, reliable electricity we create helps Oklahoma compete with the rest of the world. This facility is fueled from coal, surface mined, where enormous 80-foot thick layers of low sulfur coal allow for reduced emissions and safe, nominal cost mining. In fact, if this GRDA coal were gasoline, it would cost only pennies per gallon.
The plant has a great history. It's one of the first coal plants in the Oklahoma area that has a certain type of unit that we have. It's got a scrubber on it for emissions, which makes us one of the cleaner plants in the area. And coal is also the backbone of the electrical industry in the United States. It has been for centuries. It will be for centuries. Coal, it's going to take a tremendous effort to replace coal in the industry, so it looks like we have a tremendous future here. We have a great plant, we have high reliability, and we also have just some of the greatest people here working here that make it all put together very well.
At this facility, we believe that good environmental stewardship must go hand in hand with efficient operations. Through continuous improvements and advanced technologies, the GRDA coal-fired complex aspires to be unmatched in meeting governmental standards for environmental controls. Every day, a dedication to proper environmental stewardship and the production of low-cost, reliable electricity guides GRDA's decisions. That means meeting today's environmental requirements while also planning and preparing to meet the new standards that will come our way in the future. Under the leadership of Chief Executive Officer Kevin Easley, the GRDA Office of Ecosystems Management was established in 2004 with the goal of ensuring that GRDA always meets its responsibility as a good steward of the resources under its control. And as a recycling measure, fly and bottom ash collected from coal combustion is even recycled. The ash is used for beneficial purposes such as making concrete for road beds. Finally, don't be surprised if you see an abundance of wildlife and waterfowl around the plant site. The site is a sanctuary for those who are just passing through, and even some who choose to live here year-round. Of course, the coal-fired complex is just one chapter in GRDA's story of power production and economic development in Oklahoma. And much of that economic development success is the direct result of GRDA's status as a public power utility. In fact, GRDA is one of 2,200 publicly owned electric utility systems in the United States today. Together, these systems are serving almost 35 million people in every state except Hawaii.
Public power is something that we can pass on to the co-ops and things like that, like Pryor, Claremore, Wagner, and so on, which helps those people to have a low cost of power where they can operate their communities in a fine way so that we can understand that public power is helping the people of Oklahoma.
The public power concept runs throughout the GRDA system because GRDA sells electricity to several Oklahoma communities which also own their own electric distribution system. And while all public power utilities are not for profit, the funds they generate from electric revenues help to support other services in their communities. Police and fire services, parks, and streets are all areas that benefit from low-cost, reliable Oklahoma public power, and GRDA is proud of the role it plays in that process. It all began for GRDA in 1940, following the construction of Pensacola Dam, and the utility has been supplying Oklahoma with reliable, abundant power ever since. The dam is one of the longest multiple arch dams in the world and holds back the waters that create Grand Lake of the Cherokees, considered by many to be the region's premier recreation destination. For 70 years, the dam's existence has been the foundation for a thriving economic and tourism industry in northeast Oklahoma. In the early 1960s, GRDA also constructed Robert S. Kerr Dam and Lake Hudson to add even more renewable generating capacity. Soon after, the Salina Pump Storage Project, a hydroelectric facility located on the Saline Creek arm of Lake Hudson, was added to the system. While these facilities were all in place by 1972, GRDA still needed additional capacity to meet growing customer demands. So with approval coming from the Oklahoma legislature, construction began on the coal-fired complex in the late 1970s on a 1,245-acre site located adjacent to the MidAmerica Industrial Park. Unit 1 was completed in 1981, Unit 2 followed in 1985. GRDA also added natural gas generation to its portfolio in 2008 with the purchase of the Redbud plant. However, the coal-fired complex remains the primary source of power generation today. If you are visiting or working at the GRDA coal-fired complex, please be attentive to safety. You must follow instructions of your GRDA guide, such as wearing hard hats, hearing protection, and sturdy shoes. Also, please be alert to avoid tripping and overhead hazards. Stay on walkways, observe posted warning signs, and take extra care when descending stairs. And please do not touch operating equipment.
We certainly hope you've enjoyed this closer look at the Grand River Dam Authority's coal-fired complex. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about this important Oklahoma asset and how GRDA turns coal into electricity and how that electricity powers Oklahoma.